Hey guys, Parfax here, and today's the day I'm finally divulging how I make my money in New World. All right, let's get started. So for everybody that knows me, they know that I make most of my money on the trading post. We have sold a couple of items. We sold my biggest sale ever was actually a rapier that I sold for 95,000. We've sold a ring for about 65,000. And then we sold a couple pieces for 15 to 20. So I haven't made a ton of money with gear drops. Now, I've sold a lot of pieces of gear. I sold some pieces of gear for some people. But honestly, I make 95% of my money right here behind me on the trading post. Now, this video, we're going to give you some tips and tricks that other people aren't talking about. We're going to go and put up some buy orders. We're going to be talking about what to look for, and I'm going to give you the single best tip that you can get that I can almost guarantee you've never heard from anybody, because let's be honest, this tip over a 2-weekend period of time made me over 300,000 coins. Yes, 300,000. It solely bankrolled a few pieces of my gear for my bow set and my sword and shield Great Axe set, which you'll see builds on very shortly, probably this week. All right, so let's go to the trading post. I'm going to show you a few things. We're going to put in a few buy orders, and we're going to talk about a few things that people just aren't telling you when it comes to trading post and buy orders. And the first thing I want to say is you can do this with basically any amount of money, but just note that when you are trying to buy and sell things, it is very important that you don't, if you get 150,000 coins, you don't want to spend 130 of it on a piece of gear. If you're looking to buy a piece of gear that's 130,000, well, maybe you want to get to 180,000 before you sell it. That's going to leave you about 40,000 to flip with and 10,000 just to have laying around so you can consistently make money. All right, so let's go to the trading post. And first, let's look up a couple buy orders I actually put up when I was making another video for this. So let's go to my actives. We have a couple different things here. We have dead dried vines, corrupted coatings, infused corrupted coatings, oranges, and strawberries. Well, let's first look at the coatings. So let's look at coatings. Let's go to Angry Earth because we have one up for that. So we have common. We're just going to back out. Let's go to powerful. So one thing to note. Oh, that's because this is Angry Earth. We were at. We can do that. Actually, we'll do it the Angry Earth ones. Okay, so let's go to powerful. You see here they're selling for 9.12, and then the buy order is 0. Now, some items you can put at 0.01, and people will sell them to you, even if the prices of them are about 5, 6, or 7 coins. Now, the big key here is if you want to do that method, of course, it's going to make you the most money. But just remember that in order to do that, it's probably going to have to be something that drops in the world. Stuff that people craft, they're not just going to give you to it for free. So let's give them something that's very low to where we can make a nice profit, yet is going to be something that people will sell it. So let's cut it in half. I like a 50% profit, so we're going to go 4.5. Let's do, we can only do stacks of 100, so we'll do 100 of them. And it's 456 coins. Now, just to show you and how I calculate how much I'm going to make. So we're going to have 450. Our current listing fee is 648. Let me bring back the calculator here. So, and we'll just say it's 450. We're going to say we're going to sell them for 9 a piece. You can sell them for a little bit more. But let's say we're going to make 450 or 4 coin and 50 cent profit on each one. So times 100, we know what it is, but we're just going to get it here in the calculator, 450. Then what I do here is I typically double this number. Now, it's going to be a little bit more, so I like to add on a little bit extra. So instead of 6 here, we're just going to round it up to 20 because we're going to get a little bit more fee. Now, that is over what I'm actually going to pay for listing fees here, even if I buy every single one. But we're just going to go minus 20. And we have a 430 coin profit. Now, this is an extremely good profit margin. It is actually pretty rare to see a 50% profit margin. We're going to be working with a lot smaller profit margin, which is the reason why It might take 50, 60,000 coins of buy orders, but you might make 3 or 4,000. Imagine going to bed and waking up every day and being able to make 3, 4,000. Now that's kind of the bare minimum. You can make a lot more than that. I've made a ton more than that. But imagine just getting an AFK amount of money of 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10,000 every time you go to sleep. Now, when you get up, you're still going to sell it, and you're still going to have to get on the marketplace and do this, but it's really good. So let's go ahead and put up a buy order for 100. Honestly, I don't know if people are going to buy them. Let's look at the infused Angry Earth. So there is somebody up with 39.9, and it looks like they might have sold a few, and the price is 64. So what we're actually going to do here is we're going to over them by 1 and 50. Let's just put up a full stack of 100. We have a 54, so we're looking at about 120-ish listing fee. So we will go ahead and calculate that. So 40 minus 65 is essentially 25. So 25 times 100 equals 2,500. And we're going to minus, we'll just say 130. We're going to go a little bit high. And that gives us a 2,300 profit margin. Now, mind you, more than likely when I get online, this is not going to, I'm not going to buy all 100. I would be very shocked if I bought 100 of these, but we're going to do it for you guys. I'd probably only put up 50 because more than likely I'm just going to eat half that fee, but we'll put up 100 because this is a massive profit margin. And if I can get it, it's going to be really good. Now, next, I want to talk a little bit about the differences in buy orders. I touched on it a little bit, but just remember, whenever you're going to put up something that is crafted, you want to put it at a little bit higher than if it's something that is just gathered. For instance, you may have saw it there, but I had some fruit, and this is one of my big money makers. I made a bunch of money on this, and you guys can too. And if you go to the cooking ingredients here, we can look at fruit, and I already have the top buy order up right now. We can see here they are selling for 300 or 3 gold 20 cents on here. And you look here, I have them up for 12 silver. I just put a random number up there. This is crazy. The profit margins on food are crazy. Now, when you do this, you're not going to be able to sell them all at once. You're going to be eating some listing fees. Again, here, this is a well over 50% margin. We can look at melons. They're selling for $2.99. And we got 22 cents. Pretty good profit margins. Food is crazy. So if you haven't started putting buy orders up for food, trust me, you should. I shouldn't be telling you guys this because for me personally, I have made a ton of money buying and selling food. Now, what you can do, and this is one of the things I wanted to talk about as well, is you can actually turn these buy orders into something else. Now, let's look up one of the things that I had bought a bunch of, and they were the salamander slimes. They're going for 30.99. But if you remember, at one point, there was a bug to where you could get this and fire motes every time that you would get them. So what I did was I went in and I bought up a bunch of these for like 10 silver a piece or 10 coins a piece. And what I originally was trying to do was I was trying to put them on the market. I was trying to sell them. But honestly, they weren't selling. So I had to figure out something to do with them. And that's how I started turning these into coatings. So whenever you buy something, even if I buy here, let's see what the buy order is. Probably pretty low. 22.5 or 0.5. Yes, you can make a nice little profit on these. This is about the margin you're typically going to see on something you can make a decent profit on. But honestly, it's going to be very hard for you to sell them. So if I was to put 6 here, let's go 500. Now let's just go 100. Because we are never going to get 500 of these. We probably are never going to get 50 or 100 of these. But we'll put in a nice little buy order. And then if we get these, instead of trying to flip them on the marketplace, we're just going to turn them into 100 coatings, which is going to be very big money because the rest of the ingredients aren't terribly expensive. So keep that in mind. Make sure you're doing those things. If you can't quite buy it and then sell it for what it is, then you put it into something else and then sell it. So we have 2 more tips for you. And honestly, these 2 things, in my opinion, are important. The first one actually kind of is 2 tips already. If you were going to go buy something, let's say, or you wanted to put in a buy order for Blight Moth. So we go here, we're going to put a buy order in. Let's see, we got 70, 50, 115. Well, let's look at Asmo. Asmo's actually a great one. So Asmo, technically, you can make a lot of money on. So you can see right now it's selling for 280. So let's look here. So 254.02. Let's say we wanted to buy 100 of them times 100. Actually, let's do it this way. 280 minus 254.02 equals times 100 equals 2,598. Let's see if we put a buy order in here and how much listing fees we're going to have. 100. Make sure you go down to 1 day, which we'll talk about that here in a second. So we're looking at 25,000 of our coin is going to be, well, almost 26,000 of our coins is going to be eaten up. We're going to be eating a 346 listing fee, but honestly, we're still making 2,600. Now, let's round that up to, we'll say instead of 800, let's do 780, right? 780 is probably a good listing fee for this. Actually, no, we'll go 750. So minus 750. We're going to be a little bit generous here. Looking at 1848. That is still a massive margin. That's maybe the percentage margin isn't very high, but if you went to bed and you bought items and you just off of one thing made 1,800 coins, that's a very good that's a very good buy. I do bulk. So that's a huge margin. Here's the issue. Let's scroll down here and look at the buy orders. We have 50. That guy's on top, doing pretty well. But let's look down here. We have this person right here at 100. This person essentially just ate 346 listing fee for absolutely nothing. So when you are putting up your buy orders is very important to factor in what time of day. Now, is there a chance that somebody sells 150 Asmodium through the buy order? It's true, but honestly, I can't imagine it happens very often, and I probably wouldn't do this. So here's the thing. When you put in a buy order, right now it is 1:37 in the morning Eastern time. Eastern time. I think I might have said Eastern time. But you want to make sure you are putting in the buy order as late as possible. If you want to do it, just set it and forget it. Because that way, while you're sleeping, while you're at work, it has time to go and people can, buy your items. But also, you have time to where everybody has went to bed, especially if you're a late sleeper, or you go to bed late like myself. You can put those buy orders in late to make sure you are one of the last persons to put it up before you go to bed. Now, if you can have the top buy order on something for a few hours in the nighttime, the thing about the people at night is two things. One, you think, well, there's a lot of people buying or selling stuff in the daytime. Why wouldn't I want to do it then? There's also a lot of people putting up buy orders. You can be like this person right here that's just going to eat 346 coins for absolutely nothing, right? Just because he was undercut. And this is going to happen. No matter how many times you do this, no matter what you're doing, you're going to be undercut. Even if you put it up as late as possible at the very perfect time, somebody's still going to come and undercut you. So you are going to eat some of these fees, which is the reason why we want to have a nice cushion and we want to make sure we're making a decent chunk of money, but we're also putting up correct numbers. If I was just to turn this here to 794 and we're eating 27.49 listing fee, more than likely I'm probably going to take to the bank about 2,000 at a listing fee. We're not going to make any money, and it's just an absolute disaster to do it this way. So make sure when you're putting up your listing fees, you go by what time it is. If you want to put them in, let's say you can only play prime time, that's fine. Instead of doing the 100, I'm probably doing 20 or maybe 50. Especially, it also depends on how much money you have. If we put up 50, the worst thing that can happen is somebody overbids me and I never have my buy order and we're eating 173 coins. Now, honestly, you don't want to be eating that fee, but we're going to be putting in a lot of buy orders and it's going to be making a big profit. So out of all the times that I've done this, I have lost money in it one night, one time. There was one night where the market shifts, and we're going to talk about what led to that little instance led to two of the best weekends I've ever had in market flipping. So what happened was I was buying things like right now it's Monday. Asmodium's 280. So let's say I bought this Asmodium, and the way it works is I'll buy it at nighttime and I'll sell it the next day. Now, if you don't know, every server that I've been on has been this way. The way it works is On Wednesday, the prices will start to drop to its lowest. Sometime between Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, midday, the prices typically drop to the lowest they're going to be. And then starting Friday midday, they will start to climb. Now, depending on if you have people buying up to put it on the marketplace at a higher price, depends on when it peaks out. But typically, the market will always peak out somewhere around Saturday or Sunday. Sunday night typically is where the market peaks out on its value. Everybody's on the weekend buying up a bunch of things, and that is typically when the market peaks out. What you can do, and what I suggest before you do this, is look at your markets, find out what things sell for, find out what the trends are. If we go to linen, and this is the thing that I've done it is for, linen, arcane embroidery, we can see here it's 25. Realistically, it's at 28. We look here, these are just very low numbers here. We're looking at about 28 coins is where it's sitting at. I know this is actually a very good margin. Lately, it's been going down to 12 and 13. When it gets down to 12 and 13, you can buy a bunch of it up, and then as soon as it hits these markets, you can sit it and flip it. Let's look at Iron Guardsman insignias. These are the thing that I probably made the most money on. So they're at 260. Honestly, this is like a very typical midweek type of price. This actually might be a little bit high considering people are trying to dump them for the next patch. So they will sometimes get down to 220, 230. You can put buy orders in then, buy them up as well. And then when it comes to the weekends, they were spiking at 330, 340, and boom, you're making tons of profits. So this was a long-winded way to say, once you find your markets, typically they're going to bottom out sometime late in the week. You want to buy then, put buy orders up. I made about 350 coins profit, 350,000 coins profit in a 2-weekend period of time doing this. Now, part of it was the PTR came out. People were like, oh no, Iron Guardsman insignias are going to be useless or they're going to go way down in price. So they started panic selling. And boom, I bought up a bunch because I was like, people were like, what are you doing? You should get rid of them. I'm like, no, we might have a month before we have these. And I can guarantee you that people are going to be crafting in a month. So I was buying them. I was buying them for 75 to 100 coins, 150 coins a piece. You know what I sold them for that weekend? 330. Yeah. So take advantage of people. Make sure you're buying during the week. Somewhere toward Wednesday, Thursday, Friday is where the market is going to bottom out. And then make sure you're flipping them on the weekend. But before you do it, make sure you pay attention, like I said, to the prices. Know what they're going for. On my server, I pretty much I know what a lot of the things that I buy and sell go for. Iron Guardian insignias is one of the things that sometimes I will buy and flip. It's going to be a little bit now difficult because the market's going to reset and I don't know where it's going to finish out here next patch. Once we can start making them for a lot cheaper. But that is my biggest tip. Know when to buy and know when to sell. It'll be okay. You might go to your bank and have, you can look at my bank here and just sit there and have, thousands and thousands of materials here. I've sold a lot of my stuff because the next patch coming up, I wanted to make sure I got rid of them. But Dead Dryad Vines, I'm sitting on them, maybe I bought them today. And the problem is, if I bought them today, the market's going to kind of continue go down until the weekend for the most part. And then when the weekend, it'll go up. So what happened was, this is the reason why I said I started talking about this story, was I bought a bunch of things on Tuesday. And on Wednesday, the price had plummeted. And I made the mistake of selling it right then and there. And I actually lost money for a night, which was the only time that I'd done it. But what happened was I paid attention to the market, and then I found that the prices will always drop during that time. They will go up on the weekends, and you can actually use that to your advantage. All right, guys, thanks for watching. I know this video is probably going to hurt me, but I'm doing it for you guys. This is how I make my money. Now, I didn't go into detail on everything that I put stuff out on. I imagine when I wake up tomorrow, there's going to be, by the time this goes up, my buy order will probably be filled, or it'll be time for, me to repost it. But make sure you're out there buying and selling. It is the easiest and best way, in my opinion, to make money all the time, no matter what. You put it up there. Make sure you get into a market, what you feel comfortable with. Maybe it's something, maybe you like to cook. Start buying the cooking ingredients. Maybe you like to gather. Maybe you start buying some of those gathering materials. You know, see what's on your server going to be a profit, because every server that I've been to, unless it's completely dead, there was always a profit to be made. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. I just blew my money-making tip to you guys, so make sure you show some love in the comment section down below. Let me know what you're flipping. Let me know how you're making money. We did have a money-making tier list. This was number 1. I did forget to put, you know, your T or your M8 carries on there, but just know that I'm giving you guys all the important information that I keep to myself most of the time. All right, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Peace.